cell phones and papers off, please. Thank you.
All right, call to order, please. We'd like to have our prayer and our pledge, and I'm going to call on our Commissioner Bobby Hensley, if you would please lead us in prayer.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this day, for it's a day that you made, and thank you for letting us be a part of it. We pray, Lord, we'll continue to carry out your will on this earth, that you'll continue to give us things to do to carry your will out. We'll thank you for that. We lift up what's going on in Israel tonight. We pray that your will be done over there, Lord. Pray for a quick resolution, and hope that that'll come to an end soon. But we want your will to be done in all of it. We thank you for that. Thank you for each one here. Pray, Lord, you'll be with us as we have many decisions to be made, and pray we'll make those based on your word, your way, your will, Lord. We thank you for that. Ask you to forgive us where we have failed you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I have Commissioner Bethany Miller. Can you please lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. First item on the agenda tonight, we need to elect, every year we need to elect the chair and the chair pro tem. And let's have a roll call to make sure we have enough here tonight. Madam Clerk, if you would please proceed with our roll call.
Fail.
Here.
Bufford.
Here.
DeBerry. Gillum.
Here.
Grantham.
Here.
Hensley.
Here.
Jenkins.
Here.
Kittimore.
Here.
Lake.
Here.
Lanier. Miller.
Here.
Polk. Sane.
Here.
Vickers.
Here.
Wing.
Here.
Wright.
Here. We have quorum, of course, tonight. And our first item on the agenda, we need to elect the chair and the chair pro tem. Are there any nominations for chair?
I nominate Johnny Lanier.
I nominate Todd Coles. Well, we need a second. Or do you not?
Yes, we would need to have a second, I believe, in John's. Should we have a second? It will die for lack of a second.
I nominate Todd Coles.
Second. We have a first and second. And before we go into discussion on that, we need to have a motion to cease on nominations. So is there a motion to cease nominations?
So moved.
So moved. And second. All right, we have first and second. All please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. I accept, well, let's go ahead and vote. I have been nominated, and we just ceased the nominations, so there was a second. So all in favor to confirm as the chair, Todd opposed, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you very much. I accept. Now we will move to the chair pro tem, please.
I nominate Johnny Lanier.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Second. Second. We have a first and second. During the discussion, is there any, we need to, anybody else, or can I entertain a motion to cease nominations?
So moved.
So moved, all right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor to cease the nominations, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. All right, now we will have the vote for Commissioner Lanier as the chair pro tem. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you very much. And I talked to Commissioner Lanier earlier. He said he is willing to serve. He was elected. So, all right. If y'all have in front of you, we have minutes from September meeting, September 19th. I'll have a chance to look over those. I'm going to entertain a motion.
I move we accept them as read.
Second, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On my resolution down there where I tabled the, agreement with Crane Junction, I asked for a 30-day for next meeting for it to come back
agenda. It's not in the minutes or on the agenda for this month.
All right, Madam Clerk, on that, it's a clarification on that, we, was not here on that. Commissioner, could we have, could we then bring that up in the next meeting for new business?
We could, this meeting with new business.
We would need to amend the, agenda, the 2/3 vote to amend that agenda.
I'd like to do that, please.
Like to amend. Okay. All right, let's move into, let me get a ruling on that from Laura. We need to do that now to move into that, to bring that up.
I will make that here.
Okay, take up that. Okay, I need a 2/3 vote then to bring that on the agenda, I believe it was.
You make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second. Okay, any discussion? All right, no discussion, and we'll have a, Madam Clerk, we need roll call on that, we do. To have a 2/3 vote.
Mayor, can you make that motion? What is the motion?
The motion was on, last month's meeting was to table, they wanted us to take over their zoning. So we tabled it for 30 days so we can find out more information on that, request.
This was the Grand Junction, right?
Yes, sir. And to be fair to Grand Junction and us, I think it was appropriate to do that tonight.
Motion was to amend the agenda for tonight.
All right. So that's your motion, okay, we have a second, we have a motion and a proper second. All right, we need a roll call on that, to make sure we have 2/3. Madam Clerk, if you will, proceed.
Bell,
Yes.
Clifford,
Yes.
Gillum,
Yes.
Grantham,
Yes.
Hensley,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Kenmore,
Yes.
Lake,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Sane,
Yes.
Vickers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
All right, looks like we have carried. All right. The resolution from the, city of Grand Junction was for the Hardeman County to take over, their zoning. And I believe Mayor Lane, is Mayor Lane in the house? Everybody's downstairs, yeah.
You want me to get it up here?
I think they're gonna bring him up, that's it. But then we can have discussion on that and see what that means. Yeah, they have city zoning right now, and they were wanting the county to take that over, from my understanding from Mayor Lane. So I don't know if there was any objection of the last time, what was brought up on that last time. Did he speak on that last time, Commissioner?
No, sir, he was not up here, we just tabled it before that started.
Okay.
Do you happen to know if we are currently doing that for any other municipality in the county?
I don't think so. That hadn't been brought up before this commission. Yeah, not that I know of, yeah. Hello, Mayor Lane, we need your assistance, please, just for a second. If you would, please. It has been brought back up. We had to have 2/3 vote to bring that back up for your, what they had tabled last month, about your zoning for the city, Grand Junction. And if you could please elaborate a little bit on that, Mr. Wright had asked about that.
I would like for it to remain tabled until at least next month. There's a few things we're looking into concerning our planning and zoning board, and plus our board of zoning appeal, plus our code enforcement officer. And I would like for y'all to leave this remain tabled until at least next month. Is that okay?
That's fine with me, I tabled it for 30 days, I just wanted to make sure we did the right thing.
At least another month. month. We're trying to work out some details and also need some clarification from Mr. Conger also.
So I'll make a motion that we extend it another 30 days to next meeting.
30 days will that give you enough time? Do you have a meeting in, when's your next meeting?
Next may be the first Monday night of the month
Okay.
in November.
Or we won't leave the table until he comes back to us.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So you retable. Okay, retable second. All right, discussion on that. You want to retable that? Okay. All right, all signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, no. All right, retable that. And, okay. And is there a motion to accept those minutes? Yeah.
Well, there's a motion on the floor and a second to approve it.
Yeah, as amended.
As amended.
Yeah. All right, so we need that clarified. We've got a first and second, and you want to amend those, Madam Clerk, as amended?
Yes, we have to make that motion to approve the minutes with that amendment.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
All right. That's got a second.
Amended.
Second.
Have a first and second. Any discussion on it? All signify by saying aye. All opposed, by the like sign. All right, we've got those approved. We have a time now that we're gonna move into, it's a public forum that was added back, I believe, in July this year. The law says that we have to have public forum for each open meeting. And we're moving to that. I think we have a couple of folks, and these items need to be germane to what is on the agenda. And I believe we have first, Ms. Lanier. Mr. and Ms. Lanier, would you like to come up now? Welcome. Yes, ma'am. And if you would, talk into the microphone, yes, ma'am, so we can hear you.
Just tell what I told you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a son, or we do, that's incarcerated, and he's mentally disabled. He's been incarcerated in the Hardeman County Jail for 11 months, the 22nd of October. My concern as a citizen is not for people to not be punished, but I am concerned, and my husband as well, about, the time that they are allowed outside. They get 2 meals a day, one at 5 in the morning, one at 5 in the afternoon. He doesn't know that I'm here. My son doesn't. But he's been outside for 15 minutes, 6 times in 11 months. And I told my husband tonight, if I don't go, nothing's done. If I do go and nothing's done, at least I have made a try.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not
Mayor,
upset with anybody, but I don't know who I need to talk to.
Thank you, Ms. Lanier. If you could, these public comments are germane to what is on our agenda tonight.
Okay, I
If you
asked for
would,
direction
Yes,
on
ma'am.
that, couldn't
If-
get it.
If you wouldn't mind, after the meeting, we have a law enforcement committee that I'd like for you to talk to, as well as a sheriff. But if you wouldn't mind.
If they don't mind,
Yes, ma'am.
or
I'm
at
sure
some
they'd be
point,
glad to
I
talk.
would be glad to.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Lanier. Mr. Gary, there are only 2 on our public comments tonight, if you would, please.
Evening.
Yes, sir.
I'm Gary Barrett.
Yes,
I
sir.
just want to talk to y'all tonight in a common sense manner, not about politics or anything else. We all want our county to shine and look as good as it can be for anybody that comes and visits us or does business with us, or as different agencies go to state conventions and such. We want to look good, we want a good image. But at the same time, I'm sure everybody here at some point in time has wanted to buy a new car, buy a new house, in addition to the house, new furniture or whatever, and you go out and you say, boy, this is it. But then you start looking at the realities of the finances of it. And that's where fix the road. Specifically, what I want to talk to you about tonight, and we all been talking about this for a number of months now, and it seems to be getting confused around here, there, and there. Everybody knows that something's gonna have to be done about the election commission building, obviously. Everybody would like to advertise Mahal, we're probably not gonna be able to afford to do that. I'm just asking that in lieu of the letter that was read here at the last, commission meeting, that it would be a very bad thing for this county to take on any more debts because of various factors, and one, the major one being listed in the letter, was the pending lawsuit. And it said it was less stated clearly, not a good time, it will directly affect adversely the credit rating of this county. Let's use some financial wisdom, some conservative ideas about what we can do to meet the needs to balance the loans. And I'm asking this commission, when they make the final determination on that, whether it be tonight or next month or whatever, that they use some financial restraint and not to put this county in any more additional financial strain than we already have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That will end our item for the public forum. There was only 2 participants, and we will move on down. The next in our agenda will be, we have Representative Johnny Shaw here tonight.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
How are y'all doing this evening? Good. I think we all ought to have a smile on our face this evening to live in this moment.
Yes, sir.
That we can celebrate 200 years in this county. This is a moment that the county commissioner and certainly those who are leaders in this county can be thankful to God for what He has done for us and where He has brought us from in Hardeman County. I want to tell you, I'm proud to live in Hardeman County. I'm proud to represent Hardeman County, because Hardeman County is a great place. And Mr. Mayor, this evening, we have a proclamation that we want to present to you and to this commission for the work that you do, and remind you, as always, that in this business, we face challenges every day. And for us, when I say us, the commission, for me, as a state rep, we embrace change. Every day of my life, I embrace change. Because I realize if we're going to grow, we got to change. And when I look at this proclamation, I cannot imagine how many minds were changed over the last 200 years to get us to the point that we are tonight. We are blessed county. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all look at me like you don't like me, but you're blessed. Smile, you're blessed. This is the time to smile. You are blessed. And tonight, I want to read this proclamation, and this is the part of my job that I hate, is reading proclamations, especially these long ones. But you have 13 whereases.
Wow.
And a whereas is a conjunction that connects one thing to another. And over the last 200 years, there's been a lot of progress made in Hardeman County. Whereas, we take great pleasure in joining with the county of the counties that comprise this great state in celebrating a joyous, historic occasion such as this one. And whereas bountifully and beautifully Hardeman County and its citizens are most assured and deserving of a special recognition as they celebrate the bicentennial anniversary of the county founded this year 200 years ago. And whereas located in the southern part of, should I say, southwestern corner of the volunteer state, beautiful Hardeman County is the hardwood capital of Tennessee and boasts, certainly fearful of its great soil and great rolling hills. And whereas in 1818, Hardeman County was a part of West Tennessee, opening for settlements by treaties with which the Chickasaw settlers began to arrive in 1819, including Ezekiel Polk, grandfather of President James K. Polk, and War of 1812, veteran colonial Thomas Hardeman, who became the first county clerk for whom the county is named after. And whereas in 1823, the first hamlet, that is, in Hardeman County, was established along the banks of the river, whose name the village bore, Hatchetown, gave its location near the river. The town suffered from chronic pestilence and flooding and was ultimately relocated a mile to the south. And whereas in 1825, the General Assembly designated Hardeman County, the seat of Hardeman County, but shortly after its name, it was changed to Bolivar in honor of the South American patriot and libertarian Simon Bolivar. And whereas today, other municipalities in Hardeman County, including Grand Junction, Hickory Valley, Hornsby, Middleton, Salisbury, Solomon, Toon, and Whiteville, Hardeman County has been a witness to significant historical events, including the Trail of Tears in 1838, and a bitter fighting war during the Civil War, which included the Battle of Hatchet Bridge, the Battle of Middleburg, and the establishment of the first contraband camp for formerly enslaved people in Grand Junction, Tennessee. And whereas today the Hatchet River is the designated scenic river that runs across Hardeman County, offering a hunter and fisherman's paradise with more than 20 watershed lakes stocked with game. The nature of convenience is listed as one of the 75 least greatest remaining places on earth. The current economic Hardeman County base is a mixture of light manufacturing, wood milling, agriculture, and its population of distinction for hunters and also for hunters and for farmers and for horseback riding. And whereas Hardeman County is also home of the National Bird Dog Museum and combined with neighboring Fayette County to host the annual Field Trials National Championships, which crowns the National Champion Bird Dog Museum. And whereas the citizens of Hardeman County have added the continued growth in the immeasurable strength and character that Tennesseans are proud of. Their history and accomplishments have helped build the culture, the richness for which the state is known as. And whereas Hardeman County is one of the great counties in Tennessee, and it is most appreciated that we honor this fine community and its citizenship as we commemorate the significant milestone in this historical event. Therefore, I, Cameron Sexton, Speaker of the House of Representatives of the 113th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, at the request and in conjunction with Representative Johnny Shaw, do hereby proclaim that we honor and congratulate Mr. Mayor, you, the citizens of Hardeman County, upon the celebration of the county's bicentennial and extend to them our best wishes for continued success, growth, and prosperity in the outstanding community, which is a true Tennessee treasure. This proclamation was signed in Nashville on September the 28th of this year by the Speaker of the House, Cameron Sexton, by yours truly, Johnny Shaw, and by Senator Paige Wiley. Mr. Mayor, I want to present this to you and to the county commissioners and say congratulations to you as you celebrate 200-year bicentennial in Hardeman County. quick request is, and this is not anything I'm asking the commission to do, other than to just allow me to use the name of Hardeman County to recognize our former county commissioner, Mr. Charles Marlowe. I want to put together a day in November all across the county of Hardeman to say that we give due recognition to Mr. Marlowe for the work that he did when he served on this commission. And I'm asking your commission to let us do that, not asking for any resources, however, if you would like to give him something to welcome, but you're not required, I'm asking your permission for it. Are you the only one?
I second.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion? Yes, sir. Let's have a second. That's all confirmed acclamation. All right, all signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Shaw. Thank you, sir.
so much.
Thank you very much. And along those lines, thank you. And of course, we do have bicentennial celebration going on October the 28th, and you'll hear more from Commissioner Jackson here soon. But there's also a letter that came in from Senator Wally. It says, I regret that I am unable to attend the county commission meeting due to a conflict in the schedule. However, it is with great enthusiasm and pride that I write to you as we memorialize the occasion of Hardeman County's bicentennial. As we honor the 200 years of Hardeman County's rich history, let us reflect on the countless achievements, growth, and progress that we have defined as our community. From its humble beginnings to the thriving, diverse county we know today, Hardeman County has become a beacon of unity, heritage, and growth. The bicentennial celebration is an opportunity for us to pay homage to the generations of Hardeman County residents who have worked tirelessly to build a place we are all proud to call home. It's also time to recognize the indomitable spirit of our people and the enduring sense of community that sets us apart. As we pause to commemorate this milestone, I encourage us to all thank our loving God for shedding His grace and bounty upon Hardeman County. It's an opportunity to recognize the past while fostering a sense of unity and hopefulness for our future. I extend my sincere appreciation to Mayor Post, the Hardeman County Commission, and to our citizens for your tireless dedication and service to our community. Your commitment to making Hardeman County a better place for all its residents is commendable and deeply appreciated. Happy bicentennial, Hardeman County. Respectfully, Paige White, State Senator, Tennessee General Assembly. I want to thank God. You see Paige White, please thank him for that as well. Next on our agenda, as we're moving along, we have Ms. Green, Sharonda Green, who's in the audience tonight. She is with SK Innovations, and she wanted to talk to the commission tonight. And I had asked her to please come in and talk a little bit about what's going on for our Blue Oval City and what's going on there. So welcome to Hardeman County.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Commissioners. You know, it took me just a moment to realize I wasn't in Haywood County. I was in County Commission last night, and on the first vote, I almost said aye. So, but I'm here to talk about Blue Oval SK. Blue Oval SK is a joint venture between Ford and SK On. Blue Oval SK will employ 2,500 of the 6,000 jobs that will be located on Blue Oval City between Ford and Blue Oval SK. Blue Oval SK will function will be to supply the battery for the next generation lighting, which is now the code name is T3. At full production, we hope to be producing around 500,000 electric vehicles, and then by 2030, we'll hope to supply globally about 2 million vehicles. Now, what does that mean for us in West Tennessee and in this neck of the woods? It means a lot of economic development. We're here and happy to provide jobs for people in Hardeman County, in Haywood, and surrounding areas. We have just announced this week that we've got some jobs available. We are already hiring production operators that start around $21 an hour. We are hiring associate maintenance technicians that start out around 27, and I believe they go to around 30. And then our maintenance technicians are starting out around that $30 level, and go all the way up to $37.50. So there are jobs. I brought with me some cards that I want to be able to disseminate to you and also to people in the audience. And this card tells about Blue Oval SK, who we are, but the most important thing is, whenever I go, people want to know, how do I apply, where are the jobs? There's a QR code on the back that you can scan that will take you directly to our website. If you don't like to do the QR scan, simply look us up at www.blueovalsk.com. Now, we're going to hire about 2,500 people from the area, and we've already started doing that. Last week, we had our first employee orientation for Blue Oval SK, and I brought with me one of your very own Hardeman County employees that is now a Blue Oval SK team member. Blue Oval right now, Blue Oval SK will have, I said, 2,500. To date, we're at 378. So I would like Mr. Freddie Cross to stand up with me. Stand up for me. Freddie is a production team leader. Did I say that right, Freddie? Manager. So Freddie is going to be at the ground floor of really helping us stand up Blue Oval SK. And I mentioned I'm from Haywood County. We are really focused on being the driving force in workforce and helping to hire people locally. You know, I could ask for, will there be people coming in from other areas? Maybe, but what we are focused on right now is putting these jobs out to our local counties and making sure that they have the opportunity, if they desire, to come and work with us. We have a competitive wage, and we're looking for people that want to be a part of the electric revolution. Now, we are located in Stanton, Tennessee, and we are on about 3,600 acres of what was previously called the mega site. Our building at Blue Oval SK is 3.9 million square feet. The whole campus is about 6 square miles. In addition to Blue Oval SK, there will also be a Ford assembly plant, which we're calling TEVC, the Tennessee Electric Vehicle Center. It is a 3.2 million square foot building, and we're going to do everything there from assembly to stamping to painting. We will produce a finished product at Blue Oval City. In addition to TDVC and Blue Oval SK, we will also have a supplier quarter, and those supplier quarters, there'll be about 6 of those that will be on site. So we are looking at really close to 10,000 jobs on the Blue Oval City site. We'll be producing about 40 gigawatts of power. That is somewhere comparable to Jackson, Tennessee, what they produce annually, and we are partnered with TVA. So here's something to know too. If your lights go out, it's not because of Blue Oval City. We're not on the residential grid. We have our own power grid, so we're not going to add to those rolling blackouts producing power. But we're here, and we're here in a positive way, and I hope you receive us. We're going around to communities. So if there's any questions that you'd like to answer, I can take a few questions. So anything that you just want to know you haven't heard or I haven't covered tonight?
Anybody have any questions? I do.
Okay.
Mind, please.
Sure.
If someone here is wanting to apply, what would be the process?
The process would be, the easiest process would be to go to the website, which is, of course, a card will take you there, or you can simply go to blueovalsk.com. Click on the careers for Tennessee, because we're building not only in Tennessee, but also in Kentucky. We're building 2 battery plants in Kentucky as well. So click on the Tennessee careers, and then scroll through and look and see if there's something that interests you. And I mentioned that we're standing up this company. So if there's something that may not interest you right now, go back in about 2 months. Because then we're going to ramp up hiring as we get into the first and second quarter of 2024.
Those cards, man, can you hand those out to us?
I sure can.
I'll start here and let y'all kind of pass down, and I'll do this the same on this side. If you run out, let me know. I'm thinking of that. And I'll leave whatever is left there for you to hand out, or leave down at the guard table for people to pick up as they come into the courthouse. I would be remiss without saying thank you so much, Representative Shaw, for all of your help
helping us get things done in Florida City, your continued support, and also to Senator Paige Wiley, who is also a phenomenal partner of Blue Oval City.
Yes, we're very proud. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Thank you for what you do. All right, next we'll move on to our next item here. We have reports from our county officials, departments and committees. Dr. Smith, do you have anything for us tonight? If you could, please.
Take but a minute. Speaking of bicentennials and economic development, just an update on the schools, because we know that the schools are an integral part of this county, and also that it's a piece that we have to work together, as two bodies to bring economic development here. So this is news that's been out for a while, but I haven't been able to formally bring it to you, but in early September, we received some information from testing data back from the State Department of Education, and for the first time ever, our school system was 11-3, and that's an expectation. So we were very, very happy with that. We had 3 schools that were 5 and showed exceptional growth. But more than that, we're looking at the future and how to increase our enrollment and how to bring people into the county on our part of this in terms of economic development, because we don't know what Blue Oval is going to bring. But whatever it's going to bring, we want to be on the cusp to be ready to help to get it in here. So we're proud of being part of the county for the 200 years. We haven't been here for 200 years for the schools, but we're proud to be a part of it. We want to continue to make sure we work together and looking at the future. Our motto right now is future ready, and advanced manufacturing and maintenance is 2 of the things that we brought in. Both high schools have that. It's dual enrollment. They're earning TCAT credits while they're in high school. So those students will be ready to go into Blue Oval, stay in our county, bring revenues back to us, and continue to see the county grow as they can. So just an update on that tonight. We did get that walkway done. Any questions from either of us?
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Thank you very much. Josh, you have anything tonight? Okay. Casey Swift.
I don't really have anything, but you guys usually have questions for me, so if you guys have any questions, I'll be glad to answer anything. I can give you a couple updates on a few things. Highway 125, they're gonna be about 2 weeks out before they finish the bid. We started working on airport road up there. Almost, I think, right, rock was there next Wednesday. Probably complete that little process of the road, but we're still working on it. Got a few little things to do, but that's moving forward. Other than that, I don't have anything else. I went to the city council meeting last night. They have voted to give us the Hardeman County Highway Department, the old ambulance, or old health department building. And my board approved us to go ahead and receiving it, so we're looking into getting that building for storage and stuff. Of course, you already know about that, but we met and they approved it last night to deed it over to us. So. But that's all I have. If you guys have any questions for me, I'll be glad to answer.
What about the old health department? What kind of storage, what we looking at? What's your idea?
Offices and storage, basically, is what we're going to use it for.
You're talking about the building over by the old gym?
Yes. So I think it's 911, I think it's their safety center now or something like that.
Right. So you're talking about the
The old health department that you got, the county commission got to the city. So they kicked us.
Yeah, I think.
So I had a couple guys come out and look at the inside and stuff, but it's a pretty solid building other than the leak issue, but I think we got that figured out. So.
But do you think about moving your office over there?
Yes. Office, it's just the main office there, and have a lot of storage. We're running out of storage on our conference room's small, and boxes are steadily stacking up there, so we need storage as much, and I think county said something about needing storage. Julian said they'd like to have a little storage part of it, so.
Have you moved into the old armory building yet?
Yes, we made it into a shop. Yeah. It's completely just a shop. So
it's working out good for you?
Yeah. It's a nice building. Anybody wants to stop by, feel free to stop by and go. Any other questions?
Any updates on Highway 179 in Whiteville?
I haven't spoke. I sent a letter to Sean Patrick on that to see if they had a status on it, but he hadn't sent anything back. So I need to call him. I said Lisa done and Chattanooga this week. So.
Residents complaining.
So what?
I said residents just complaining.
Oh yeah, that's key. All I can do is call her.
I appreciate it.
Anything else?
Anything else? All right, man, thank you. Appreciate you very much, thank you. All right, departments, Jamie, do you have anything for us tonight? Madam Department, please, sir.
Just to give y'all updates, we're a quarter of the way through the year. We've had the city hall back for a couple of months. And I was just gonna give y'all basic numbers here. For the month, we did about 370 in September. August was about 390, but so far since July, we've made about 931. Last year this time, we only made, 473. So, quite an increase on that. On our revenue side, last year at this time, we were at 215,800. Right now, we're at about 380,000. Back in July, I think I told you guys, I think we had 12 full-time employees. We are up to 20 full-time employees. Of course, obviously, with all this, we do have some growing pains, but we're getting over the bumps in the road. Trying to do the best we can. That's about all I have. Unless you have any questions.
Are we running 4 trucks yet?
We are running 4 trucks a lot of days, not every day, just yet, but probably 1 out of every 3 days we'll have 4 trucks.
And then we still have our, presence in Middleton.
And how many part-time do you have?
I do, someone's gonna ask me that. I think we have about 10. We did have quite a bit more, but a lot of those are on full-time now, so.
James, I have a question. In Middleton, it looks like an ambulance graveyard back over there. Are those our,
I think that guy resets, like buys them and resells them.
so that's not our stuff?
No.
Okay.
I asked the same question on that.
Yeah, that's
All right, thank you.
I did overlook Miss Lily back there, so Miss Lily, you have anything?
I did not.
Okay. I apologize for that. Miss Amber, do you have anything for us tonight?
Well, I guess I can speak. I always do, it seems like, but, Mr. Barrow's remark earlier, he talked about financial situation, and nobody better understands that than I. But the fact of the matter is that we are out of space. We need a building. We need to protect the valley. You cannot compare these elections that we're about to have to the elections that we used to have. You talk about the financial part of it, and y'all talked about the criminal justice center. Thing about it is, if the county goes broke, you're still gonna be making a payment to the county justice center. If the county goes broke, you're still gonna be paying rent for me somewhere. So I'm just trying to do what's right for the voters of Hardeman County, and that is to get them where they feel secure in the election process. And for Hardeman County to be able to uphold integrity. That's all I've ever asked, and I know that there are concerns financial. I don't like seeing it more than anybody else. But the bottom line is, you're either gonna pay an individual or you're gonna pay a bank. And we need a building. Now, it was discussed at the last building planning committee about different options, which I'll let Mr. Bell bring up. But, and I said I would do my best because we knew they couldn't get a building built in March. And I had one commissioner ask me, Amber, you think you get some kind of fireproof safe? We checked on the prices of it. Amber, can you get to a temporary location just for early voting for February? I'm trying to figure out what would make common sense, because by law, Mr. Barrett law, I have to notify every individual that I'm moved. So just between cards, which I got price quotes, labels, I got price quotes, and I would have to contact every voter in this county Well, I did find out I could contact every household. So just buying and doing that one thing of notifying the public that I'm in a different area is $8,000. So knowing that the bottom line is that we need something bigger and better, and I'm not looking for a Taj Mahal. I think that's been plainly stated. When I talked about the building, I didn't care if it had on the window to look out the front. It's nothing fancy. The only thing I've asked for is a very secure room we put in the building to protect the ballots. And it is an issue. Now, you have to understand, I have elections every single year. I've never had to house this much paper. Okay? The biggest amount of absentee ballots I have ever had in 18 years of serving as administrator was in November 2020, which was 500 ballots, absentee ballots. Okay. We got rid of them in 2022 because that was the time frame they could. I still have the signature list though from that list because that's maintained for 6 years. Before I can get rid of March of 2024's signature list, I would hold 10 more elections during that time, which means all those ballots and all those signature lists still have to be maintained and be protected. I know it's hard and it's a hard decision, and I don't envy you your job. But the bottom line is, we talk about the money, and like I said, I don't want to see the county have to go that in debt either. But you're making a payment already. Like I said, whether it's to an individual or a bank. I mean, and like I said, the landlord has been great. He's been good to me, but it's not enough room to take care of what we're gonna have to do. So, if y'all have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them. But like I said before, 2024's signature relief, or those signature lists can be destroyed. More than likely, I'm gonna be in one of two places, either 225 Mitchell Street or 6 feet under, because that's how long you have to hold this stuff. And we're talking about 500 ballots. Now you're gonna be talking about probably over a year's time, 1 year's time. And we pray it's a big election, we want big elections, 15, 20,000 pieces of paper. And that's just ballots, that's not including the signature list. The same thing with it. It's a lot of paper, and I just want to protect it and not be in the news like all these other states across the United States have been since 2020. And that's what their issues were about the paper ballots. So, I hope you'll seriously consider what the Building and Planning Committee has tried to bring forward, and that's all I can ask.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you. And for the last, Sheriff, Billy, would you please, you have a report for us tonight for that? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the visitor report. As of today, the month of October, we picked up 4,180 pounds of garbage. Total for the year 23-24. So far, we have picked up 56,160 pounds of garbage. Arrest for the month, 9/15, 10/15, there's been 91 arrests, 60 reports on criminal incidents, 6 drug offenses, 22 thefts and burglaries, 7 intimidation and threats, 6 traffic offenses, 7 assaults, 3 protection order violations, 4 vandalisms, and 5 counterfeit forgery, impersonation, and public intox. One more thing, I know y'all have in y'all's packet, some cars that need to be, taken off the inventory. We also have 3 convection ovens that were in the kitchen. They have been replaced. They need to be also removed from the inventory. So, Mayor, can I get a vote on that to remove the convection ovens?
Madam Clerk, is that in the,
I'll just take this up next month.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think you got a call on Maxwell Road.
Yes, they're gonna take care of that tomorrow. You want? Maxwell Road.
Maxwell Road there at the cemetery.
Yes, sir. Yes,
The burning,
yes, sir. They're taking care of that tomorrow.
an individual was burning against that.
I'll be taking care of him tomorrow. You're welcome.
Thank you, Sheriff. All right, next we'll move into, committee reports. We'll start. Johnny, do you have anything for the library?
No, my understanding that the city finalized the budget adjustments that we made last meeting, and, they should go into effect immediately, not soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Solid waste, met on October 2nd. We came forward with, 2 positive recommendations that we need the full commission to look at. First one is a natural refuse disposal fee. We're talking trees, limbs, brush, things like that. We've taken on a lot, and a lot of this has to deal with, commercial people going out and cleaning up. But what we're proposing is a disposal fee for natural refuse in the amount of $20 per ton. And this does not kick in until after you reach 1,000 pounds or half ton. So, what we're having to do right now is, we're burning the natural refuse. We're having to have people monitor that, move equipment if needed. But again, a $20 per ton, all natural refuse taken to the landfill. And that is a motion from the solid waste committee.
Positive recommendation. Positive meetings. What was your second?
Well, I'd like to do them separate.
Your second.
Have we currently got a fee for that? That's something.
The only thing we have is the $28 demolition, that's it. So all this that's coming out there is, we just have to take it and dispose of it.
Refresh my memory on the tipping fee, I do remember.
Right, the tipping fee is $28 a ton, and that's, demolition fee.
Okay, thank you.
We're using a lot of resources out there, fuel, equipment, wear and tear, taking care of a lot of debris that's being hauled in, not only by local citizens, but by commercial tree cutters. And it's piling up and getting ahead of us. And being free right now, just coming in and dumping in our wood yard is gonna cause trouble and a lot of money cost in the future.
Mr. Chair, would that take effect, when that take effect November 1st?
Well, actually, we were looking at the 1st of January, just to get everybody heads up and let them know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
January, we can start doing that.
All right, is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion, please? Saying none. Madam Clerk, please roll on that. Good, we'll have roll call vote, please. Madam Clerk.
Bell,
Yes.
Clifford,
Yes.
Gillum,
Yes.
Grantham,
Yes.
Hensley,
Yes.
Deacon,
Yes.
Kennemore,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Sane,
Yes.
Vickers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
That motion passed. And we have a second, please, sir.
Second is a, positive recommendation on transferring, all responsibility of the convenience centers back up under the solid waste director. unanimous with the entire board. I understand in the beginning why this was done prior to us coming on, but, I just think we feel strongly that, convenience centers, the responsibility of anything that goes wrong out there is with the solid waste director, so all operational authority should be with the solid waste director on all the convenience centers. And that is the positive recommendation from solid waste committee.
Is there a motion for that? Anybody need a motion on?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All those responsibilities will be held by, Director Graves.
Where are those responsibilities now? Who's over the convenience centers now?
Right now, that is in zoning.
They're overseeing the convenience centers.
The zoning overseeing the business?
Actually, that was put into place, to help when Mr. Graves was, of course, we were reopening the landfill. Then Mr. Graves was, of course, tied up in the landfill, and the scheduling, thought Mr. Pierce could help with the scheduling for those workers that were at the different convenience centers, and that's how that happened.
Chairman Paul, is there a monetary value on this at all that we're talking about? You were just talking about responsibilities, is all that's been discussed, but is there a monetary
I
value?
don't think that's been, that's been discussed, that's a separate for the directors, each director's pay. Now, he was doing that, I believe Ms. Foster had that as a separate pay, but I don't think y'all will talk about that before we do anything with the pay.
We did not look at pay. One of the things we did talk about was up in the zoning office, when the solid waste was taking fees up in that office, when the report was put on the county taxes. There is, if I'm not mistaken, we're paying for an employee up in the zoning office. Solid waste needs to get all of their people back under solid waste, so the discussion of the committee was to move that person out to the landfill.
Motion on the floor is to have those operations under the direction of Mr. Graves.
I got a question before we make, approve this motion. So, the fees on the property taxes, is that still in place?
Yes, and that's still coming in on the taxes, and so that kinda eases, the need for having a solid waste person up there taking those fees in is kinda null and void now because it's coming in.
Is Graves, his office is currently where? At the landfill?
He's out in the field most all the time, but now I believe he still has, he can come in, of course, to the courthouse anytime.
But if he is gonna take the site stack over, yes, I agree, he probably needs some manpower, clerical, pair, possibly, or keeping up with whatever's going on at these sites, so he does need some extra manpower. What are we gonna find out about that? You wanna discuss that at some point about moving that employee or employees and get back with us, or is that just something that's gonna happen?
The solid waste committee feels strongly about moving that person out to the scale house and cross-training and still, taking care of the manning of the convenience centers and whatever Director Graves decides.
I think one of the employees may be retiring in the next few months, is that right, Commissioner? I'm not sure on the time frame when there would have to be some training for whoever's gonna fill that position at some point. And that may be, I don't know if that's 4 or 5 months, but that's what they said.
So my understanding, I missed the last solid waste meeting, so my understanding is what you're saying is you're putting everything back under Stephen Graves, all the convenience centers, and you're moving the, clergical person that's in zoning right now to the scale house to cross train with Ken? Is that what you're saying?
That would be the desire, yes.
So they would answer all phone calls and everything for solid waste at the scales instead of in zoning? Is that what you're saying?
That's what Greg sets up.
I think to clarify, let's clarify this very quickly, if we can. They're wanting to move that under the direction of Mr. Graves, and then he would have discretion to have it set up. Yes. He have his discretion. All right, we have a first and second. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none? Madam Clerk, we need, okay, we need a roll call on that. All signify, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right, let's move on.
I got a question while we're on that subject. What about animal control officer? We currently got one in the county?
No.
Is that all under your department?
It does. He quits that. We're in process of hiring
Thank you. I read today, talking about convenience centers on ten. It's overloaded. Did it get done or what?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
The county took care of that, Commissioner. There's a contract with CMP, and I believe their truck broke down, and they had some type of issue. So I was notified, of course, Director Graves was as well, so the county went out and dumped those, took care of it. So, of course, we can't help it when one of the truck breaks down, so that's it.
Thank you.
All right, yes, sir. All right, we'll move on. Commissioner Jenkins, do you have anything? On your report? Okay. Vice President, committee, please, sir.
Thank you, Chair. First, Paul, I'd like to refer this to Darrell Junior. He has been working very diligently on this, giving his life every day, ground zero with bicentennial celebration, and I'd like to refer to him.
Since we last spoke, we talked of two different kinds of vaults. One that was in use that would take on water, and one that wouldn't take on water. Turned out we had the one that still took on water. So it was opened with prophetic advice. We opened it on September 21st, drilled a hole in it. Took 2.5 hours to get it out of the ground, 20-30 minutes to drill a hole in it. And it poured out 290 gallons of water. Fortunately, it poured it out on a parking lot instead of on the court square. Probably about 5 or 6 hours with 4 or 5 people working. We put on rubber gloves, stuck our hands in about an inch full of water because we drained it down but could not get all the water out. Pulled out as many items as we can, it's about 110. Those items are either downstairs in that case or they are in a notebook, because many times a picture would be taken out. You could take a picture of it, but by the next morning when it dried, it shriveled up and just disintegrated. There are many items that you can tell exactly what they were. There are many that you've got to kind of do a little detective work, but it's all downstairs, and it was opened on the day it was asked to be opened, back in 1976 on October 16th, 2023. It was made public downstairs for anybody to look at. The committee will have a bicentennial moment or celebration or unveiling on the 28th as part of the barbecue festival, and all that will take place that way, on that porch facing Main Street. There will be displays of photos from as many as we could get together, things about the county. We've asked authors that have written books about the county to be on hand. We're trying to show you, and then the columns, little courthouse.
The columns, the little courthouse, and of course the lobby here.
Right, the lobby here will be available. Little courthouse will be a short, there'll be a reception with, light refreshments. This was a process that was disappointing, had water in it, but we've done the best we could to get things out, clean them up, take pictures of them, and archive as much as possible what was put in there in 1976.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the Bicentennial Committee for digging through all that, several days. It was a huge mess, and we were able to save the items that you see down below in the lobby. Probably out of 1,500 items, we saved approximately how many, Carol?
115-ish.
So all paper products were completely destroyed except for very few.
Yeah, there were a few things that you put, if you ever do this again, you put it in a tube sealed on both ends, it'll be perfectly fine. It's a good thought for the next one, I guess. Other than that, everything else was damaged. There's some interesting things. They're downstairs. You can see what's, you can see them.
Thank you, Dan.
When is that next one, when's the next one gonna be?
I don't know. That is for, that is due 16 to decide.
Thank you very much for the hard work that y'all have done on that. I believe we have another member, Kenny Atkins, back there. Want me to thank you for what y'all have done.
I saw this back on there. It's bad still.
Yes, it's fantastic. Thank you for what you've done. That was a very tedious job. Bringing those up. I was actually there in 1976 and actually put something in there. So thank you for what you did. Now, this Saturday, 11 o'clock, we will have the opening ceremony. We've invited different mayors, different people from around the county, from different counties as well, and we're going to have probably another proclamation or so, but that will be right here in front. Shouldn't take long, maybe 15 minutes, and then we'll move into other activities that are scheduled for the festival, for the barbecue festival. So, all right, we'll move on. Commissioner Buffett, for our law enforcement, please, sir, you have anything tonight?
Yes, sir, I have, just a few things here. 10-5 Law Enforcement Committee, we met, and at that time, the sheriff stated that, we have 15 officers current. One is on hire, the jail is fully staffed at that time. Fully staffed resource officers, one officer is needed in the security area, need 3 officers total, which would give the county 18 officers. The building complex, we currently have 5 installed AC units and cameras. We need 2 more, they're on order. We had some storm damage in August. The fire alarm system, they dealing with the insurance company on that. The parking lot needs some attention. The parking lot needs repairing. We had a new door system, panels. The release funds from the restricted funds, Mayor Todd approved the cost of the emergency because it's safety. There's a safety issue there. And the law enforcement is looking into getting the dispatch back to the complex. And one more thing that needs some attention was the cell tower. The cell tower we need one in Salisbury. If the tower is installed, it will improve the radio communications throughout the county. We actually have an antenna that's out at the landfill that's not being used, and the cost is unknown at this time. They're going to look into the community block grant to see about getting that tower put up. That would improve the communications because right now, in certain areas of the county, the officer is lacking radio communication. So it's a safety issue. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Fincher. Any questions?
I have a question for the sheriff. Are you still lacking the 3 individuals you need to hire, or have you hired them yet?
No, we're still lacking 3 individuals.
Okay.
control officer, and he's wanting to come back, so we're in the process of that communication now, so.
And, one other thing I think was, wanting some block out back where the water was coming out. I gave you a number.
Well, actually, Mr. Bell had somebody come by and look at it,
I met with the contractor out there this week, last week.
this week.
And,
Yeah, last week.
discussed the short scope of work, and he's supposed to be getting a budget number for us.
And if you want to, don't know what they're talking about, we actually have some blocks that are, the ground is giving way and the wall could fall and collapse. So it's needing some attention. And also the parking lot. We have some gaping holes. It needs some attention. My thought would be, it may need building up and doing some sort of cement up under it, because I believe it was built on sand. It needs some attention. I believe we had someone that tripped.
I've got a question. I don't think it's just a place, but at the OEMS building, that cell tower there, what liability do we have there with that, since we never took that down? Like when we sold that property?
I don't think we have any liability at all on that. You sold that with the property?
Yeah.
Sold to somebody, they got the property somewhere, so they have to have to take it down. Whatever they have to do.
Across the bus garage, that OEMS building.
I thought we still had it. Was the tower not ours anymore?
I thought we were supposed to take that down, because we sold it to a individual for a event center, but I was just wondering,
And that may not be, and that tower may not be, I'm not sure, how high that has to be, but I think that one, the landfill is how tall, John? It's about
180 foot.
180. And then Mayor Lane had mentioned earlier about, of course, we're talking about a site possibly at Salisbury, but then he also mentioned that on their tower, that, they actually have, some type of equipment that was installed there that could actually hold that, so we're gonna discuss that.
Well, we've discussed the water towers. Unfortunately, the water tower put a repeater and an antenna on the water tower in Grand Junction would only fix part of our problem. That's why we're trying to, put it at the fire department in Salisbury, because that would actually split the south and Littleton, or southeast and southwest both would prosper from that one antenna. There's already been the studies done with using the water towers, and instead of putting up 2 repeaters, put up 1 antenna in Salisbury. That way we've had 3 antennas in the county, and they would split right down the middle of the county.
It's about the same elevation, I think, because they had some kind of elevation study there.
Yes.
And they were close, I believe.
Cause didn't we have one on the Grand Junction Tower, Lighting or Vandals, either something happened to it, and it cost Grand Junction money?
Grand Junction did have a repeater on top of their water tank, and it did be struck by lightning. They did lose their repeater and antenna, and did not replace it because of the cost of it. But, like I said, we've got the 180-foot tower in tune. I've got a antenna, or a tower that's identical to that at the landfill that we can put up in Salisbury, and I feel like the studies say it'll fix our problem.
Was that one of the EMS is a big tower too, that's a lot more, but.
Yeah, it's about 100 foot. This one's almost twice the size, so.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Bell?
Yeah, I put an update or report in your, handing out, before our meeting. But, I'll just read it real briefly. It says, on September 28th, 2023, the building committee met to discuss issues relevant to the building committee's duties. The first item discussed and considered was the possibility of finding an off-site location for February primary due to issues with space, etc. The idea was brought due to comments by the election administrator and Moore over the past several months, stating the current location is not large enough to accommodate the February election. Ms. Moore provided many reasons this should not be an option. The committee took no action on this topic. The second item arose from the floor. A motion was made by John Vickers to construct a new building for the election commission. It was seconded by Jackie, and vote was yes votes were John Vickers, Jackie Sane, Bobby Inslee, John Lake, and Russell DeBerry. The no votes were Joe Jenkins and myself. The third item arose passage following this motion for a new building. The question was raised as to where to construct the building. A parcel owned by the Hardeman County School Board was offered as the targeted site location by Commissioner Grantham and an architect that he brought to the meeting, Mark Hawk. Mark delivered a well-prepared presentation as to why the school board property was the prime location. After lengthy discussion, the committee arrived at the conclusion that the school board needed to be consulted prior to any further decisions on this matter. The final topic addressed followed the consensus of the committee that it was impossible to have a new building built and ready by February 14, 2024. The topic again of finding an off-site location for the upcoming primary was addressed. The election commissioner, Ms. Moore, stated that she would discuss making the existing election commission site work with the election commission. Ms. Moore's comments led the building committee to believe the sense of urgency has now passed on this matter. October 5th, 2023, the school board called a special meeting to obtain information about this matter. Several members of the building committee and Mayor Pauls were present to represent the county. There was a lot of discussion and questions asked by the board. The school board requested site studies to be conducted by the independent third party to determine the suitability and cost comparison with the school board property compared to alternate sites. The school board has a process and procedure that must be followed before any consideration of deeding the property to the county. And then ultimately the school board requires a formal request by a county official to be placed on the school board's agenda before formally taking up the issue. The building committee's decision to construct a new building and the requirement to have an independent review and decision by the school board has limited much more discussion by the building committee on this matter. Other pending issues, one we just heard about was the generator screen wall at the CJC, which I met with a contractor out there last week to kind of discuss a scope of work. Basically, they've got effervescence, water's getting into the top of the screen wall built, and it's blowing the mortar out of the joints of the concrete. And basically, what we need to do is to power wash it, get rid of the lime stains on it, put a membrane on the top of the wall, and a metal counter coating cap, which would match the color of the coating metal on the building. And then John's people would paint the inside of the building. They had to be fireworks, but John's people could paint the backside of it with a latex and then seal the outside with a clear seal. The second issue that the building committee has to address is Josh's roof. We had some repair work done on it several months ago, but a part of that scope of work was to replace coating on the metal on the front of this building, and that's never been done. I talked to the contractor about it, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and he said that he'd be willing to refund the money back to the county for that because he just hadn't gotten to it. However, after saying something to Josh, he had leaks still on the building. So I got up on that roof this afternoon before our meeting and have since called. They've not finished the work. So I called the contractor and they're supposed to be addressing those issues as well as the coating metal on it. So hopefully that'll take care of his building. Any questions?
Any questions? All right, thank you, Commissioner.
I have a question. Where are we, at with Ms. Smith? Did anything, you know, cause we're supposed to be getting together with, Ms. Smith?
You speak.
I said, where are we with Ms. Smith, you know, following up with Ms. Smith?
Right now, from my understanding, I don't want to speak for Ms. Smith, but the school board needs a formal request from the county. There were a lot of things mentioned in the meeting. One of the things mentioned was comparisons. One of the things that the building committee did not do was to consider any other alternate sites at our meeting. So, in order to consider alternate sites, then that would probably be something that the building committee would need to take up as to what sites might be available in order to have a third party do their, I'm not certain to what extent they have to do, but they had to put together a report to compare the prices, but right now, the only thing that we discussed at the meeting we were there was the school board site.
Chairman Schultz, I just have a couple of comments and to clarify some things. The building committee was there at Board of Education, and the discussion was, Christie had brought up an alternative site, and I think wanted a comparison from the site that was chosen next to them to another site that was marked in red by Stockdale's, if I remember correctly. And I think the Board of Education was kind of wanting some numbers put together, comparing the two sites and the savings, one site for the money, the extra money it may cost going to another site. I believe that was the discussion that was placed back to the county commission or the building committee.
Exactly. So the building committee, in order to proceed, we need to discuss that site as well as, I mean, honestly, no other sites were ever discussed. So it would be, in my opinion, premature just to pick one without having a discussion. I know that the only site that I thought that we were talking about before you and Mark came was right next to the existing buildings across the road. So, well, that was my understanding.
To clarify that, the Mark Hawks, who is the architect, he had done a scope of the area and said that was the most feasible at the time. But as presented by Christie and the Board of Education, they had presented another possibility.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that.
And with that being said, what direction we should go when the building committee has voted for bids on a building? I mean, separating the building lot from the building, I think, was something we may need to do. Not combine these things together, maybe get a price on the building itself, and then start talking about, having the building committee talk about prices of each lot, what it would cost to build on each lot. Would it make sense to break it down instead of making it confusing, putting everything together, because a building and a building lot are two separate things, like when you build your house.
No, I get, yeah, I understand that, but Brett, my understanding that the school board was talking about the site prep work as well as access to all the utilities.
Sure.
And that number, I mean, it doesn't matter what building you're gonna build on it unless it's if the footprint is what we're talking about, 3,500 square feet, thereabouts, plus or minus. An engineering firm can do a site study to give us a very good idea of what the prep site work's gonna be. Again, you can't build a building without building a foundation, and there's no point in pricing the building and finding out that where we're gonna put it is more expensive than we can afford.
So vice versa, there's no point in looking for a prep site until we know what the price of the building is. So,
Well, we've gotten a number of budgets on buildings, in the election commission meeting, or not the election, the school board meeting. in the midst of the discussion, the scope of work changed dramatically. So, that would definitely affect the cost of the building.
That's true. That's true. So what do we do with this positive recommendation by the building committee? I attended that meeting and it was a positive recommendation to put the building out for bids. What do we do with that?
Well, again, at this point, the only place from my standpoint, the building committee only selected that one site. And we could go back and meet and get a various sites, and have a study so that they can pursue. Again, it may be that the building committee wants to just put it on across the road. I mean, I don't know. But if they do, then we can pursue other sites. If they want to pursue working with the Board of Education, then they ask that we provide budget numbers with their site versus a site that would be further away, maybe on the same property. And quite honestly, if the sites differ, then the scope of work might differ as well, which would affect the price of the project.
But the commission asked the, committee to come up with a solution to bring back to us for more than just one proposal. We asked for several. Why is it just one?
Well, that's the only thing that anybody was really much interested in talking about.
So are we still talking about building? Building.
Well, honestly, the way I took it, when
I'm sorry, we need order, please. We have Commissioner Bailey speaking, please.
Can I take the floor for a second?
Sure.
I'd like to respond to what Johnny said. You know, I understand what Johnny said about the EMS building. He said that, lawsuits and stuff like that. And I need to say this, I was totally against EMS at the very beginning. And I called David Bell last month and apologized for being so narrow-minded and focused on just one direction. Went out there that Tuesday after the meeting, and my problem was the traffic. I was scared that we'd have a lawsuit with traffic coming in and out the same direction. Well, that's not really the case. We got plenty of room. We can put another road on the other side over there coming in, have nothing to do with their side. And plus, we're talking about a building, an EMS building that is inside is perfect. We got 5,000 square feet there that we can use with each bay door, 1,000 feet per door plus 3,000 for the office places. And what really sold me, and all due respect to Jamie, he walked out there with us. I said, Jamie, have you come up with any ideas about what maybe we could do with this? And my thing was traffic now. And Jamie said, well, we're trying to get Dodge First State to maybe start some school out here. So we're talking about traffic out there 5 days a week, every day, compared to 1 or 2 months a year, what, 15 to 30 days election? I don't know. I mean, it kind of changed my thing. So I would like to see maybe if we can't come together, is get a third party to come in with, let us give them 3 or 4 ideas and let them make decisions what's best for Hardeman County if we can't all agree. Does that make sense, having a firm come in with?
And that's what an architect can do for you. He can.
But he's yours.
He's not mine. He is just a guy that I know. He is not my architect. He's never worked for me on any job that I have ever done.
I mean, I'm not saying that's not about a deal, but it don't.
If you're gonna get a person, you should have a professional. Don't you agree?
That's why I said if we had a third party firm come in and put all the numbers on the table, what's the best for Hardeman County?
Do we have a architect for the county?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so they could look at
have, and the way the law reads, let me go ahead and clarify that. The way the law reads, if you have an established relationship, you don't have to call for the RFQ because you already have that established. So if you're not going to use them, then you have to call for the RFQ, which is request for qualifications. That's turned into the purchasing agent of the county. And then they look through the qualifications. Then you go into the other aspects of it, about calling for the bids, for the building, so for the planning. It's a lot of things to be done, but that's how that works. If you already have an established relationship, the law says you can.
Okay. We've been talking about building, month after month. The election's drawing near. We need to come up with a solution for the county right now. We just don't have the money to build a building. I would love to see a building, but we just don't have the money to build a building.
But we have the money to pay rent.
Well, you can pay rent, but it's coming up to February. You can't, there's no way possible.
She already knows that.
Okay.
Please, let Commissioner Butler finish, please. We want to have order for this meeting. Commissioner Butler.
We're gonna wait till January to figure out where we're gonna hold elections. That's the main issue right here. What are we gonna do right now?
Let me just say, again, I think we've addressed that with Ms. Moore. She realizes that she's not gonna be able to have a building by the February election. And I think she's gonna do the best she can with what she has. She says there just may be long lines to early vote. But she realizes that there's no way we can have a building by February or March.
And can I say, I was asked to check on the price of a fireproof safe or gun cabinet or something that could be used to protect just the March ballots, and Tractor Supplies, the largest thing they've got is like $24.96, $2,500 for it. And it would probably hold March's information. So, I mean, yes, the commission's been trying to figure out some ways to make February, March work, and as I said before, I don't wanna see us spend money that you try to relocate me temporarily to a place, and I have to notify the public, which is around $75,000 to $8,000, $75,000 or $8,000, and then turn around and notify them that I'm back at 106 South Porter Street, another $7,500, $8,000, and we're not even talking about IT costs, phone costs, or anything. If it was a simple solution of just relocating, that'd be one thing, but that's just way, in my opinion, it does not fix the problem, and you could use that much funding for something that's not going to fix the problem. But I did tell the building planning committee, because they knew there was no way of getting me in a new building that would take care of things by February. I told them I would do everything I could to make February and March work. Like I said, but I can't reverse rooms, I can't do anything, because I'm not gonna have the public spending on the rain or the cold or anything else. Just not gonna do it. The voters are more important to me than that. I mean, like I said, if I can get a fire, which I'll have to ask, because it's not in my budget, I'll have to ask for that money for that safe to protect those ballots. So I know already it's gonna be $2,500 for something to house the ballots.
Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask Ms. Moore?
Yes, sir. Please, you're recognized, sir.
Could the EMS building work for you?
You're gonna do as much renovation, and you're not gonna have a parking facility. I went out there and counted the parking places. I would say no. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And I don't wanna take the chance either. People are not gonna park where they think they say they should. I don't care what you put up. I mean, when I went out there and counted it, I think it was 18 to 20 spots on that end where they wanted to put me. Well, 10 of them were gonna be my staff. I mean, that's that many. 2 of them are handicapped. So that's 12 places taken already. And so, you know, if it was a lot more land or something out there or whatever that could make it work, it could be considered. But I think it's too much of an endangerment to this county to put an election when in November I know of 2020, we were averaging 90 cars an hour. 90 cars an hour. Now, I realize people think, okay, well, she only has 3 elections a year. Well, okay. It only takes one thing to happen for somebody to get hurt. And like I said, he can do it out there too. We've had fender benders and everything out there where I'm at right now. But I would say, no, sir. I mean, because not to renovate it, not designed to make, for me to make sure the election flows easily. When a person comes in to vote and goes out to vote. I mean.
So has the state give you, say if we build your building, how do we know the state's gonna approve that?
The state don't approve it.
But you
If
said
you
they
approve
sent you
it.
a letter.
You approve it.
Saying what you had to have.
No, Tennessee Homeland Security told me of the issues of the problems I have where I'm at.
Ms. Moore, would you, if there may be some more questions, would you please come up to the front? I think there's something that I can hear you. Please come up, we'll have it all on record as you'll be in the microphone.
No, the report that was given was a Homeland Security report, which shows vulnerabilities and security issues of where I'm at. So that's what was given to me. So, but as far as the EMS, I don't think the EMS and election commission should be.
Everybody thinks that way, ma'am. I'm just saying, if everybody thought that way, then we should never put nothing out there.
No, I mean, I think it should be for emergency services.
Bobby, there's a bigger footprint as far as space for parking there than across, with the county. Absolutely. School building.
If we go over to the tree line in the back.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot here now, a lot of it's not paved, they can pave it, we're gonna have to pave wherever we're at, if we're building a building.
I'm just thinking it's more about the building we paid $1 million for, we received half of it now for 5 years. That's just a shame on us.
What did you say? What's that again?
I said, it's just, we've got $1 million building out there. We have just used half of it for 5 years now and never have used the other half. That's just a shame on the commission that we have wasted that money. And, I just feel like that we need to make use of it, and I think it could work for you. I mean, those bay doors would be perfect for your loading and for your machine. You gotta block up the wall. I mean, if we spend $150,000 to $200,000 on remodel and paving, that's still a lot cheaper than rent or building a new building somewhere else. That's just my opinion. That's why I thought maybe we threw out 4 options and brought in a third party firm and let them decide what was best for the county.
Well, I think the EMS option's been brought up many times as far as that.
Right. I'm like everybody else, the money part of it, you know, we got ARP money we didn't want to give to the municipality because of the lawsuit. We got everything depending on this lawsuit and we don't know. I mean, that's what's satisfied it. Yes.
Yes, sir. Commissioner.
The EMS bill, is it paid for?
Yes.
It's paid for.
Yes. We paid $700,000 ARP money, pay off the bill.
Ms. Hammond, let me ask you a question. Is there, the way the law reads on the GCA code, it says that you have to have adequate storage and then, of course, it has to be secured. Now, that does not say that it has to be on site or off site. So that's an area that's up for debate, or it doesn't clarify. Is there a way for now, for time being, and this is just to throw this out, there are spaces, let's say at the courthouse, that are secure for storage, like the little courtroom, if that was clear. Is that enough storage that you would need for these certain type of things that you could use?
My thing is this, who's gonna have access to it?
Well, and it does say in that code that you have to have a key.
And nobody else. I mean, a Republican and a Democrat and myself are the ones who handle it.
And that was the issue, I believe, on the National Guard, I think.
That's
Brought it
correct.
at one time.
Because military clearance, I could not tell that I would do what I needed to do.
Yeah, because that is, many of you may not know, the commission may not know, there's another courtroom up here. and it has been, it's not being used, but it's used for storage. A lot of our records have to be retained for so long, so that's what's there.
Also, I believe it was mentioned at the building and planning committee that Mr. DeBerry said that some trucking company was coming in out there, so there's gonna be even more traffic flow out there. He brought that up. There's a trucking company gonna be out there behind it, so they're already concerned, they might go to road, something about trucks or something already with that issue.
Is the fireproof facility right here on the square, is that being used for anything? You know?
I'm not sure, Commissioner, if it is. The one next to, I believe, Josh's office, don't they have records in it? Right now?
I looked at it back when I first, I mean, it's been about a year ago, at that time it was empty.
Yeah.
But
I
I don't
think
know.
that's for Chancery Court. I think Chancery Court records are supposed to be in that building. That's,
I didn't hear.
you might check on that.
Anybody else have any questions, comments from Ms. Moore? Okay, thank you, Ms. Moore. All right, we need to move into our next item. I have a quick, Ms. Linda, you have some. I'm sorry.
So what did we do? Committee met, we made a motion. You got a second and voted. So does that just get thrown out?
Well, there's been no motion made to this commission. There might have been a recommendation to the building committee. No one's brought a motion from the building committee.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. Where does that go now?
I don't think we can, if I have the floor, I don't think we can do anything else until we get some site, prices. Because we can't move forward on the Board of Education because they want some, site cost difference. Is that right, David? So, I don't know anything else we can do tonight.
Who does that fall on to get the price?
To move forward on this, you have to have a professional, architect or engineering firm and, have them do a study on the sites that are selected by this commission. Then, after that, the commission would have to meet, talk with the engineer or architect, and then submit it for bids, whatever his plans are. That's what we'd have to do.
EMS, we would not have to have architect or.
But to expedite this, Commissioner Wright, we need to consider everything on the table.
Right.
Let's go get television on this and just think EMS. Let's put everything on the table.
I told you I took my blinders off. so-
Right, let's put everything on the table and consider everything, because I have not made a decision yet myself, what's the best avenue to go. But I cannot make a decision until I have all the facts in front of me. And until we can get all the facts in front of us, we're gonna have an architect, we're gonna have an engineer, we're going to have the studies, we're going to select all the sites. We've got a site that's suggested by Board of Education, we have a site next to Board of Education. We need a professional now. We are not professionals up here. We need a professional. We need to have a motion to hire a professional to do that study for us, for our consideration and for the counties.
Same thing we said about a firm or third party come in and do what?
Do you have any suggestions?
Those are inside my lane, I have.
When this discussion first started, I believe the motion was put forward about 8 months ago, and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. It was instructed and this county commission asked for the mayor to contact A2H or some engineering firm, if not them, to get some prices on what it would cost to construct a building, and also what they would charge, their fees would be. And I believe the mayor has done that. And if I'm not wrong, I won't say the figures, but I have a figure in my mind that A2H had given him about what it would cost just to engineer the building. Is that right, Chairman Paul?
Yes, sir, that is correct. There is pricing, and they can't give it to you the way the law reads. They can't do it, because we didn't call for requests for qualifications or the plans. They can give it to you, as a budgetary item, but they did an approximate figure of what it would cost, of the total cost. It would be approximately 6% of what it would cost for their plans.
But we did receive a letter stating that, at this moment, we do not need to take out a loan on the county.
Yes, sir, that was, a little bit wrong for the last commission meeting, yes, sir. So is there, let me ask the building chair, there was a recommendation, that your committee voted on.
They voted to pursue building the building. They went, the vote, as I said in here. The next topic was where to build it. And Brad and Mark Hawks made a presentation. Everybody that wanted to build the buildings wanted to build it there. So that was really, that was the scope of the conversation. It was not on various sites, it was on that one site. And then we talked, and Ms. Smith spoke and basically said that she would kind of set up a meeting between the building committee that you were at and the school board. It was a working session, it wasn't an official meeting, it was just a task where we could discuss, they could ask questions, and we could try to answer them. My understanding, and I don't want to talk to Ms. Smith, she's over there, is that the school board's not gonna do anything until a formal request is made by a county official. And I'm assuming that's Utah. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that's where I think, is that right, Ms. Smith? So that's kind of where we're at.
We can't vote on something that's not on our agenda, that's not processed.
Right, and we can't compare site work pricing until we discuss the various sites, or at least have a selection of sites. I know that Smith picked out a place right next to Stockdale's, which makes sense, but I've never gone over there. I don't know if that was she seemed to think that might be an adequate site. I've heard 2 or 3 other sites from other people, pretty much on that same piece of ground. And I'm guessing that the site work pricing was different considerably depending on where it was at. Utilities might vary greatly depending on where that site was at. So, again, that would be at some point in this discussion. That's going to have to be determined. It needs to be narrowed down to what sites to have the study done on.
Chairman Paul.
Yes, sir.
With everything that we've been presented tonight by the building committee, I would like to make the motion to hire an architect to expedite this so we can get answers and make a decision to build a building or to go with the EMS direction. And the architect I'd like to present to this commission is Mark Hawks. And the reason I'm presenting that is because of his price he has quoted to the county. And I think I shared it with you and the building committee. And Ms. Moore is aware of it also. He has presented a firm price, what he would do, the plans, and also consult with the county for it.
I have a big issue with Mark, and that is because I asked him about the specs of the job. And his comment was that we would just let the contractor write the specs. And I've been in the construction industry for a long time, and that's a good way to be change ordered to death. You cannot do that. You cannot build a job without a good set of specifications that everybody's bidding apples to apples. And if you don't have a good set of specs, they'll price the job, or a contractor can price the job, and then when we come back and say, well, this is what we intended it to look like, or we intended to have, and well, that's not what the spec said, and you get
Since then, he has agreed to do a specification page.
So it would have to be a set of spec docs
Or like?
Yeah, I'll call it a page. He is committed to doing this specification so that each bidder would be on the same page. That's what he's committed to.
Jackie, did you ask me where?
Mr. Mayor, but if we have one, why are we using it? That's my only question. We have one, why ain't we using it? Now, nothing against.
I may can answer that for you if I may. Usually a professional engineering firm is 3 times the price of an architect what he is quoted. Because there's
6% is the norm for architect as a general rule. Or engineers, I mean, that's kind of, that's an industry standard.
Mr. Hawks has agreed to do it conservative less.
Well, is that from, that is not, the recommendation from your building committee was to explore the option. Is that right, to have a county official, is that right, to go to the school board to make that recommendation, is that right?
I don't have a recommendation in here. My understanding was that we needed to make a formal request to the school board, to pursue it. Now, I'm assuming, and I may be assuming wrong, I don't know, are they still wanting that study prior to them doing anything, or did they talk
We have not had a meeting since, but that was the consensus that we needed hard data to make decisions from. You know, we want to partner, as we told them, but it's gonna make a huge burden out there in that whole corner. And if it's only gonna save the county $10,000, is it worth it, and is it really the right place? I will tell you, as a citizen, my concern are the utilities, because there is no sewer access except for U64. And it is a long way from that corner to that highway. And that's what I would encourage you, whatever firm you choose or whoever you go with, make sure they're comprehensive. That they can do a utility study too, because that's where a lot of the cost is gonna be.
Mayor Foltz, may I offer a solution? We maybe you contact ACH and get some numbers, what they would engineer the bidding forms for and to submit for bids, and then compare those to other architects and engineering firms. A2H, well, A2H is already bound to the county and our firm, so to satisfy the commission, get some firm figures from them, what they would engineer the project for, and then also shop with a architect and other engineers. And I'll take care of that.
All right, thank you very much. I will be getting Ms. Linda, we have on our next item, there was, we did have Commissioner Lanier, he is out of town tonight, as you can see, and, Ms. Linda, we had a couple of issues on our budget amendments.
We have 4. Are we going to take these all at one time? I just kind of go through. The first one is number 1, it's the airport. When talking with Shelby, year before last, he had 2 part-time employees. Those 2 part-time employees, one quit before the end of 21, the next one quit in the 22 fiscal year. So he only used $7,800. So when the budget committee prepared the budget for this fiscal year, his budget was slashed $10,000. He did hire another part-time employee. He would like to keep this employee, bring him up to $12 per hour, and then use him 30 hours per week instead of having 2 part-time employees that he uses $15, 15 hours a week. So this budget amendment, the first one, it's just that amount of money. It would restore almost back to the original $20,000,
Mr. Shelby did not realize this had happened and is requesting the commission to review that and add that money.
So since we going.
We're going to question.
So since we going, take on individual, do we need to make a motion on approval with the first one?
Can I have a question on
Yes,
this?
sir.
We need, I want legally, I need to understand something. Are we gonna pick and choose who we give the $12 part-time to? Because if we're not gonna give everybody that's part-time $12, how can we give some $12 and some $8.95? Everybody at solid waste centers making about $8.95 an hour, $9. I know we can't afford it, but how do we pick and choose who gets what all of it?
I'll be happy to run those numbers and give them to you for the next commission meeting on how many part-time we have and the rate of pay and what it would take to bring them to $12 an hour.
Could you just,
I would.
So can we hold off on that then till we, thank you.
Okay.
That's the reason I asked. Yeah.
All right, the second one, Sheriff Dillon and his team has secured a grant for $103,714. It's a violent crimes grant. This money, is 100% grant, so there is no matching. So when the money's spent, we'll pay for it and then the state will reimburse us. And at that time, we'll put the money back into the fund balance.
that's the violent crime.
Yeah, that's the
intervention
violent
fund.
crime intervention fund.
Okay.
And the third budget amendment is for the workhouse. Y'all talked about the information on the 18,000. That's coming out of the reserve fund. This is just a budget amendment that takes it from the reserve fund, move it into the line item to repair. And the fourth one is kind of my mistake. When we ran the numbers, I did not realize that the airport had liability insurance. Apparently, we didn't pay it last year. And so when it came to our budget for it, and this is just money that comes from the fund balance, goes to liability insurance for the airport.
Okay, we could ask for we could take up 2, 3, and 4 for budget amendments, and we could.
Make a motion to approval. Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, have a roll call, vote please.
Bell,
Yes.
Buffer,
Yes.
Gillum,
Yes.
Grantham,
Yes.
Hensley,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Gilmore,
Yes.
Lake,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Sane,
Yes.
Vickers,
Yes.
Wing,
Yes.
Wright.
Hey, we'll move into the, next item we had was our committee appointments. Each year, we're supposed to look at our committees and, to reappoint and to appoint, confirm, and affirm the committees that we have for our counties. Y'all have a chance to look at those that we sent in. Agriculture, airport, person animals. Yeah, we also have there the statutory boards, Jim Pierce is on the compliance director, and then we have our, zoning appeals board. We have the statutory board there on the back, and then the planning commission as well, those are statutory 4 years, and then we staggered terms as well, so. If I could, if we have a motion to approve our committees, please.
So moved.
Move the second. Discussion. Seeing none, all affirm by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Passed. And let's see what we Our next item on the agenda is our lawsuit update. Mr. Conner, if you would, please, sir.
Good evening. I want to bring up the Carnell matter. The lawyers have agreed on how they're going to divide the settlement money up between the back wage and liquidated damages, and also take care of the retaliation claim that's part of that. And they're preparing the work, because it's preparing the settlement paperwork, because this has to go before the judge to be approved. And they're working on getting a final number. I think Mr. Dingley got in a number from Mr. Sessions on the attorney's fees and expenses he was asking for. And I didn't have that number with me, so I'd be afraid to probably guess at it if I got the wrong number. But that's where we are on the Carnell case. And on the Perry case, as you know, the trial was supposed to be on the 23rd of October. The parties had, we filed a motion for summary judgment and a motion to decertify the class. And the judge hasn't ruled on either one of those yet. But on the motion to be certified, he did ask Mr. Sessions for some more information for him to file, I guess, a supplement on that. The parties then requested a joint motion for a status conference with Judge Anderson. We had that, and during the meeting, the conference lawyers started talking about the possibility of trying to settle the case again. And everybody said that was a good idea, so Judge Anderson continued the case, and the mediation is going to be December 12th to the 15th at the CJC, beginning at 9:30, and they selected Steve Shields, a lawyer in Memphis, to be the mediator. And that's about all I have on those cases. If I have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Are we gonna have more about the mediation down the road, about maybe
Yes.
who's going to do anything?
Right, and that's something else I'd like to have before the next meeting. I'd like to have an attorney-client meeting just by itself, not just ahead of a commission meeting, but just an attorney-client meeting, so we can answer the questions that you have about the litigation. And I can make myself available whenever that needs to be.
Mr. Chair, we need to set that at some point.
Y'all want to do, I think the last time maybe somebody came up with some dates and sent them around, and everybody said what they could and couldn't do. I think, it seems like that's what happened. I don't remember, might be following. I think that'd be good.
That November meeting, that's when we will vote on the parties to have for the mediation parties.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So we're gonna, you would like this, again, set not prior to the commission?
Correct.
Yes.
Second night. Second night.
Thank you, Mr. Conner, appreciate that. Our next commission meeting, November the 21st, and real quick, just make sure that you remember our bicentennial, and then if you would, Mr. Misdemeanor, if you'd stick around, to talk to the law enforcement committee. And seeing as no other business that will come before this commission tonight, I entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'm going to be adjourned.
We'll go on here by